What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing the preview for the FA Cup semi-final between Chelsea and Manchester City. So at Wembley Stadium, April 17th, 2021. This is the first of two FA Cup semi-finals taking place this weekend. This game between Chelsea and Manchester City is going to have no fans. It's a 5:30 PM British summer time kickoff time. It's Chelsea against Manchester City. The quadruple once more is on the line. Before I crack on with this video though, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, you want to help to support my channel, then do subscribe, press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. It is free. 800 subs now away from my goal of 17k subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget my social media links, they're in the description below and also sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video and let me know your thoughts of this game in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. So let's crack on with this preview. It's a big test coming up for Manchester City against a tough-to-beat Chelsea side under Thomas Tuchel. I think this is going to be a very even contest, and I think this is definitely going to be decided on which team is going to be clinical. With Wembley's big pitch as well, I think this is going to involve a lot of running. I don't think either side's going to be able to play as many passes as what they normally like to do, and because of that I think this might be a low-scoring game. Now, in looking at the route that Chelsea took to get to the FA Cup semi-final to play Manchester City, they beat Morecambe at home 4-0 in the third round. They beat Luton at home 3-1 in the fourth round. They beat Barnsley away 1-0 in the fifth round and beat Sheffield United at home in the quarter-finals by 2-0. Not the most difficult of runs for them, I'm not going to lie, and I certainly think this is Chelsea's biggest test in the FA Cup so far. But Manchester City's route here hasn't been that difficult either. For City, we beat Birmingham City at home 3-0 in the third round. We beat Cheltenham away 3-1 in the fourth round. We beat Swansea away 3-1 in the fifth round. These are all games that I'd expect Manchester City to be beating. All clubs there in the EFL. And then in the quarter-finals, Manchester City got a really good win away from home against Everton 2-0. Like I said, it isn't the most difficult of runs for City until we get to the quarter-final. Everton away is a big test, which we managed to come out on the other end of. So City and Chelsea's run here to the FA Cup semi-final hasn't been the most difficult of runs, but this is two big teams, two really good, well-drilled, well-organised teams. Two teams that are flirting in and around. City flirting obviously with the Premier League title, and Chelsea flirting with trying to get to the Champions League positions in the Premier League. This could well be a repeat of the Champions League final as well. This is a massive clash between two teams that are playing very, very well. So it's almost like a final, this game really, but it's a semi-final. It is what it is, and like I said, the quadruple is on the line. Now, speaking of the Champions League, Chelsea did play in midweek to beat FC Porto on aggregate 2-1. However, they did lose at Stamford Bridge by 1-0 against FC Porto. And I always say winning breeds winning, isn't the ideal preparation for them to go to this match against Manchester City on Saturday. But Manchester City, we did beat Dortmund. We beat them away by 2-1. A good response to our defeat to Leeds last weekend means we've now got ourselves a little bit of momentum to go into this match at Wembley. And hopefully we can use this as confidence going into this game. I'm not expecting Manchester City to be making too many changes from the team that beat Dortmund away. So we will see what happens. And same with Chelsea. I'm not expecting them to make too many changes either. We'll see what happens. It's two fantastic teams going toe-for-toe. Like I said, this could well be a repeat of what happens in the Champions League final. Manchester City, of course, facing PSG over 2 legs in the semi-final, and Chelsea, they're going to be facing Real Madrid over 2 legs in the semi-final. Both teams going to be up against it, but it could well be a Champions League final, this one, so it could be good practice, this, for us, on a neutral ground as well, so we will see what happens. Now, for Chelsea and their team, I suspect Timo Werner will start in this game. I reckon Hakim Ziyech may start as well, as they didn't start versus Porto. Just had a look at their team. I suspect Pulisic may well start. He's a really good player as well, likes to cause Manchester City quite a few problems, so I'd be surprised if he didn't start. Looking in the middle, we've got Kante, Jorginho, Mason Mount, lots of running there for that big Wembley pitch. It is going to be needed. They've got Thiago Silva at the back. I suspect it may be Antonio Rudiger going alongside him as well. Reece James is having a good season for them. I do feel like they can be got at here though, Chelsea. They're not invincible, they're not unbeatable. We just need to be clinical, and that's what will decide this tie, in my opinion. Kovacic, he is out injured. That has been confirmed, so that is a bit of good news there for Manchester City, as I do rate Kovacic. Now, for Manchester City, I'm expecting a bit more squad rotation. We're playing in midweek in the Premier League. We're playing next weekend for the Carabao Cup final. We've obviously got them 2 legs coming up against PSG as well. We're still not solidified winning the Premier League as well, in my opinion, needing 2 more wins. So lots of massive games. Our next 5 or 6 games are absolutely massive, starting with this game at the weekend. It started actually in midweek against Dortmund. We've come through one. Can we come through this? Fingers crossed it can. I think the biggest question mark here comes about who's going to start in goal for Manchester City. Will it be Ederson or will it be Zack Steffen? Steffen's our goalkeeper for cups, and I reckon it will be Steffen that gets given the nod. Will Aymeric Laporte feature? Is he fit enough? Will Aguero make the team? Will he be on the bench? That's another big question as well. Will Manchester City start with a striker? Will we have anyone starting up top? That again remains to be seen. If you are going to be having a bit of a gamble, a bit of a flutter onto this game, and you're going to be looking at things like first goal scorer, players to be carded, etc., etc., then I would wait until the teams are announced before doing that, because I'm not too sure which side City may go with here. It could be a complete rotation with Premier League and Cup finals and PSG coming up. City might say FA Cup semi-final, we're not that interested. I don't think that will happen, but that could happen, so it remains to be seen what happens there. Like I said, I am expecting a bit of rotation, considering we've got a big game with Aston Villa in midweek. We'll want to get back into winning ways in the Premier League to give ourselves a bit of momentum for that final little push. Like I said, I think we're needing, is it 11 points to win the Premier League? I reckon 2 wins and a draw perhaps may do it, so the sooner we get them points the better, and like I said, we are looking for a response from that Leeds game. Now, my score prediction for this game, I'm going to go for a Manchester City win by 2-1. I think it may go to extra time. It's going to be that close. Certainly don't want penalties, but if it does go to penalties, and that could happen. We faced Chelsea in the League Cup final just a couple of years ago at Wembley. That finished 0-0. That went to penalties. City won on penalties. So hopefully, City have been practicing penalties in case that does happen. It's always good to be practicing penalties now as we're going into these knockout competitions. We've got massive games, cup finals coming up, potential of an FA Cup final if we win this game coming up as well. Champions League semi-final over 2 legs. These could all go to extra time, even to penalties. So always good to have in your locker the practicing ability to be able to take penalties. So I'm going to pop up my team prediction now for you. I'm going to go for Steffen in goal. I'd like Ederson to start. I think it'll be Steffen though that gets the nod. I'm going for a rest for Kyle Walker, so Cancelo at right back, Zinchenko at left back. I'm going for Ruben Dias and Aymeric Laporte to start. Stones has started in the last few games. I think he'll be given the rest. It'll be Dias and Laporte, and I can see Dias potentially, if he does start in this game, being rested for the Villa game in midweek. I'm going for Rodri, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva through the middle for Manchester City, Riyad Mahrez on the right, Phil Foden on the left, and I think Raheem Sterling, he came on late against Borussia Dortmund. I think he might get given the nod in this game. I've got a feeling that Sterling will start. It could well be De Bruyne going through the middle and Sterling starting ahead of even Mahrez or Foden, but a lot of the players, they had a big squad rotation last weekend against Leeds. They've had plenty of rest, so I'm not too sure. Perhaps De Bruyne could come in for Bernardo Silva, would make the most logical sense for Manchester City. I just don't think a midfield of Rodri, Gundogan and De Bruyne works too well, but City may have another look at that for Wembley. It remains to be seen. Like I said, I'm not too keen on that midfield. Whilst it sounds fantastic, it never seems to really work that well. Maybe De Bruyne could be utilised out wide through the middle. Who knows? A player had to miss out. I put De Bruyne because De Bruyne could well be needed for these upcoming massive games, particularly in the Premier League and Cup finals and Champions League. So I gave him a rest. Why not? Could have been any of the players. I just went for KDB. We could see Ferran Torres start. He could be in for Sterling or one of the other attackers like Mahrez or Foden. Jesus could be given the nod. I think it might be Jesus given the nod for the Premier League match against Villa though in midweek. So that is my thoughts. But there we go. Come on, boys, let's go, let's do this. Another chance of getting to the final. If we do get to the final, we will be playing the winner of Sunday's semi-final between Leicester City and Southampton. That will see fans returning back to stadiums in England for the first time in months. There's going to have 8,000 fans at that event. It's a test event, of course. City are taking part in a test event next weekend for the Carabao Cup final, where again there'll be 8,000 fans in the stadium for that match versus Tottenham Hotspur. City have released ticket details for 2,000 Manchester City fans to be able to travel down to London, and I'm hoping this is going to be, the final's going to be another test event. I think there's going to be more fans for that FA Cup final, by the way, than the Carabao Cup final and the semi-final. I think, anyway, don't quote me on that. So, yeah, there's a potential here of City having more fans going down to Wembley as well for an FA Cup final. Massive moment, a very prestigious cup. It'd be nice for City to go and win it again. So a massive game. I'll be honest, all these games coming thick and fast every 3 to 4 days is absolutely exhausting. But this is what sets the best teams from the rest. Manchester City, if they want to do something that's never been done before, the quadruple, this is where the tough really get going, and that's what City need to do. I'm confident if we can play over 90 minutes like we did in that second half versus Dortmund, we can come out with the win from this game and get through to the FA Cup final. Certainly not bad to have on our CV, is it? Champions League semi-final, progress made, an FA Cup final, Carabao Cup final, and on the verge of winning the Premier League. What an amazing season, but seasons aren't amazing with what-ifs. Seasons are defined on what you win. And if we want to win the FA Cup, we need to win this game tomorrow against Chelsea. Bring them on, I say. So there we go, that has been the video. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Also, subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 17k subscribers. Plenty more football and Manchester City content to come for everybody to look forward to. Don't forget also social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next Manchester City video, which will be the live watch along of this big clash between Chelsea and Manchester City at Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final, with a place in the most prestigious domestic cup competition in the world, the final at Wembley on the line. Chelsea v City. Bring it on. I'll see you all again tomorrow for that live watch along, going live at 5 PM BST for the kickoff time at 5:30 PM BST. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day. Peace. Ciao for now.